my heading change, I'll do, if we need a heading change, it'll be probably 5 degrees or so. Let's go back. Let's actually do 2. I'll assume.
Do you remember? All right. Did you? Is he? He's gonna start his move, Aaron?
Yep. He just
It's in.
Typed it in. I'm pretty sure he did it pretty quick, so I didn't see the screen. But yep.
All right.
053, half a knot. You guys look lined up perfectly right now.
Yep.
Oh, wow, it is perfect.
Yeah, it only takes us a second to start, right, Jess? So give him until he's got some decent forward motion.
So does anything have to happen with me once we get on transect? Am I logging, drawing, doing anything?
We're going to have Magda just log here, start a transect.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
You have it lined up beautifully.
I'll just watch the ship then unless you scream at me.
Sounds great.
Is there any angle or orientation of this camera? Right now we can push past that little rope in the side there, or we can angle it up. I think maybe come back from a little wide.
Would you know what the angle is?
That's good. Negative, I do.
No, not exactly. It's right now it's tilted down like maybe like this.
A 45?
Yeah.
I like that I can't see the porch. That's good.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll keep this.
If it stays like that the entire dive, when it comes up, I could go look at the vehicle when it's on deck.
Most likely it won't.
Okay.
Hopefully it won't.
Well, what we can do though is drop it down until we see the porch, right? And then bring it like this, right? Bring it just where you get past this stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe
actually, video if you want to come
then you
full
can
wide bridge nav.
Yes, because it will move every time you do a
We'll
sample.
be tracking that line
go ahead
for
and push
probably
past the
about
little
230 meters.
So if we
so
can just do this every time, we're going to get about the same
and
thing.
that red line in high pack is just
So
for the
right
ROV to follow. That's not for you. Thank you. This is like right above the hose and right above that rope there. So.
All right, that sounds great, and I'll make.
Yeah, so I guess for science notes, it's like the camera should look up so that the front of the porch is just outside the frame.
Okay.
And then the video zooms in a tiny bit to get rid of the 3 or 4 artifacts that are around the edges.
All right.
It'll have some consistency then, and like you say, you can measure that camera angle later when we're on deck.
All right, thank you.
I wonder if we could also figure it out from the lasers. I don't want to do that math.
Yeah, somebody could.
Somebody could do that math.
I have done that, measuring screen width from lasers.
All right. What's the bearing? Is the ship just moving due east?
No, it should be going 053. That doesn't look like it.
Looks
He's
like
not
he's
really
going due
achieving
east.
that. Damn it, we were so well lined up. Sorry. Darn it.
We were so ready.
You want to ask him if he just has the wrong number in bridge nav? It looks like we're struggling to achieve that bearing. Is there an adjustment we can make to get going 053? Okay.
So once we're all set, we'll begin the transect, so we'll be on.
Yeah, once I see the ROV get in line with this start and high pack, then we can all say
Bridge nav, we need to get back offset on that line, so if you can stop this move and we can reset again. Thank you. So perfect. I knew it was too good to be true. This is going to be cake. No worries.
Okay, so yeah, science are going to have the ship is having it's gone for a little scoot.
I don't know where he's
going.
going.
It back.
We're going away, far, far away. I want you back here.
So he stopped the move and he's moving back currently.
What's the wind and current at here?
Winds 6 knots at 292, currents 1.14 at 170 degrees.
Right.
Nothing
okay,
outlandish.
Should be very nice. That's canoeing weather.
All right, so we want to get back there. All right, 273. Bridge nav. I'm sorry to do this to you. We need to get probably 270, 60 meters. Okay, we're standing by. He's adjusting heading. It was going to be so good. What's that? That's pretty. Is that another Venus flytrap?
Yeah, it's a flytrap anemone. It looks different than the other ones we were seeing that had the orange tentacles and the more like thick, warty base.
Hey.
We're off on a joyride.
Well, while we're joyriding, somebody's asking if the substrate, because it's muddy, do you think it's going to be a little bit more acidic? Do you think that affects the diversity and the type of organisms that we see on this transect?
I don't know about the pH of the sediment, but I do know that mud habitats are favorable for all the organisms that we're seeing here.
Pick up a bit of altitude, just so
burrowing
you don't
anemones and sea pens. And
muck it
I
all
think
up
there
there.
are
go
brittle
back.
stars buried in the mud, and we see their arms coming out. So there are certain species we expect to see in mud, just as there are certain species we expect to see in rock habitats. And ocean chemistry questions are
I'm gonna
valid.
tuck it in.
It's why we do take water samples
So do you want to come full wide, please, for a
and
minute?
sediment core samples, so that scientists who really know that discipline can investigate it.
Great. And I guess circling back to that fish question, I think the answer is really that it just depends on the fish. Some fish seem to be attracted to the lights, while others may move away, while others seem pretty indifferent.
That's right, and I've even seen species
Zoom
of
in there a bit,
rockfish
video.
be attracted to the lasers.
Uh-huh.
So they try to eat the lasers.
Is that it?
Yep, perfect, thanks.
Ooh, smart. That's a good idea. Did you say you saw fish try to eat the lasers?
Yes.
Like a cat, like
Yes,
playing-
exactly.
or a puppy?
They were so on Cordell Bank. We
Yeah.
did an ROV cruise, and the rosy rockfish would dart towards the green, and they liked green lasers
Yeah.
versus red lasers.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That must have been a fun game
Interesting.
to play.
Yes.
We could use a rockfish now.
Yes.
Entertainment.
That's awesome.
Looks
But
like
it's too deep for rockfish, right? Or do we think that there's those two species that we might be able to see?
Right. We might start to see, as we get shallower, some thorny head rockfish.
I'll stay in there for about 5 minutes.
All right, video, go ahead and come wide, please.
we're moving back
Roger.
slowly. We sure came the wrong way really quickly.
Yeah.
What do you guys use the scoop for? Is that a scooper on the
Yeah.
porch?
Getting like kind of rough fragments, like whether it's like shells or sometimes there's these like rocky coral, old rocky coral fragment bits. Collecting a bit of that this summer. I guess any kind of stuff that's not like this kind of mud, right? It just goes right through it.
Got it.
Hmm.
I have an array of sampling. Gauges.
So this dive is expected to go about 24 hours, is that correct?
I do believe it's about 24 hours. 24-hour dive.
Bubble camera.
So we have this transect, and then we'll head east and enter into another area and run transects there.
So in between those two dive areas, the vehicle will be picked up into the water column and they'll do what they call a tow.
A mid-water tow.
A mid-water tow. Or close to the bottom, but in the water tow.
And that is for time, in order to time management, get more transects completed in our limited time out here.
Knots to meters, right up here. FYI. There it is, spelled out. No calculator needed.
So pilots, when you're using the arms, do you feel tension, or are you just going from visual?
It's just visual, although there is a mode that does that. They call it force feedback. This brand, this craft arm, offers that feature, but we never use it, and we don't. I use the same arm on a few different vehicles, and it does work here. We just choose not to use it, but sometimes it's just a thing that's not working. But it's kind of, I guess it's a good idea, and maybe it is better in another application, but it's kind of, the controller's kind of heavy and bulky as it is, and it's got motors in it, and if you have that feature turned on, it'll actually like fight you if you're up against something. It will, so it kind of makes it harder to use it, and we kind of like just using like multiple camera angles to understand the depth of field, and it's kind of, it's not really like the best approach to have to be using that to know where you are, because that means that you're banging into things like before you get any feedback out of it. Whereas with looking at cameras, you can just avoid, you know, there are uses for it for sure, but for the most part, I don't know anybody who wouldn't prefer to use just like two different camera angles. So it does have it, but we don't like it.
Yes.
And what kind of controller are you actually using?
PlayStation 2. No, no, it's a master controller. It's a custom controller that comes with the arm. It's a miniature version of the arm on the vehicle. It looks the same, so we hold it in the same position.
Oh.
And
I think there's a lot of like PS4 people out there who are bummed out now.
Yeah, we'll just wait for Argus to swing a little.
Okay.
yeah, show my age up with my PlayStation 2 remark for sure. Ship's getting happy.
Ship's getting happy. He's ready to start tracking the line once we're kind of set up and ready to go.
Roger.
Fingers crossed.
So although we were joking about like game console controllers being used for ROVs, for these larger ROVs that's not the case, but it does seem like Xbox controllers are used for some of the smaller ones. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
people are definitely doing that. Yeah. There's just pluses and minuses to it, right? They're cheap. They're in the supply.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know if it's. I don't know if it would be as good as having a kind of custom joy box that's meant specifically like for the task, but I'm sure it's very, very good approximation if you're making a ROV and you're as a hobby or in a university program or something. I'm sure it makes all the sense in the world to use it.
Hmm.
All right, we're almost there.
So close.
See what? Oh.
Oh, there's
A
one of
meter and a
our
half?
grenadiers from last night, right?
Yes, that's a grenadier. So I just looked up the published depth range for thorny heads, and short spine thorny heads can
All right, you want to start to move, Jess? Are you happy?
Yeah, I
appear
think
around
I'm just about
1,500 feet.
happy.
Oh,
So we'll keep an eye out for them as we get
Yes.
shallower.
It's going to take 3 minutes to move anyway.
That's true. Go ahead. Here, I'm happy here.
Hurry, go.
Cookies, I can take or leave.
So we're almost lined up.
Wait, are you asking if there are
Yeah.
cookies out?
Cookies?
Are you asking if Jess wanted a cookie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I'll take one.
Snack
Yeah,
delivery?
Yeah,
please.
sure.
Yes, please.
yeah.
Chocolate chip?
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Thanks, Lindsay.
Thank you, Lindsay.
What about the milk?
We're not allowed to have milk
No
in
milk.
control band.
All right,
All right.
we're moving in the right direction. Gonna clear up that messy track. I think you guys spell out BL still, all right, with the TVL. Go, go, go.
All right. So back row, this is kind of the setup we're looking at right now. We're in line with that transect line, and we're fluctuate between 1.4 to 1.6 off the ground,
Okay.
which is kind of what we had before. So this looks good to you, then
That looks good.
we'll get going on this.
All right, so we're starting transect.
Not yet. Once they start moving.
Yeah, we'll just wait for the
Ship's
ship to
going.
catch up.
Just let it get a little bit of speed, or else we'll outrun
Okay,
it.
yeah.
See how this goes.
Now we're back to confetti mode.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see if it were to line up on high pack.
Yeah.
See the label. Yep, so once it hits that like first arrow.
Oh,
It
man.
does kind of oscillate a little bit.
Thank you.
PID.
Yeah,
Kind of
not
weird.
very good.
you.
Thank you.
Shouldn't be doing that
Thanks
in
for the
these
cookies.
conditions. Very easy, with no heave on it or anything.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Well,
Thanks,
So,
Lindsay.
should this be a tradition every time we start a transact?
That's, I'll let, is that bad? Good, good. I'll move it here. What was that, Dave? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was just going to say, should this be a tradition every time we start a transact, we have to have chocolate chip cookies?
I did dig that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
I
good
just
plan.
crossed over the start there now.
Okay. Starting transect.
Here we go.
Yay, we're off.
What time did it show you what time it logs when you punched it in? 22:14? Oh, perfect.
I've never
The
seen
ship's
these
still
before.
speeding up, Aaron?
Never seen those before. This trip.
I've asked for 0.5 knots and they're at 0.2. You want me to bring it up a bit more?
No, it's probably still ramping up. He'll probably get to 3 or 4.
Okay, I'll keep
Just
an eye
let
on
us know.
it. Okay.
So you got 20 in. Gonna break it.
Hmm.
Yes. And how long is this line, Aaron?
You keep getting me every time I take a bite out of my cookie. 200 meters.
Okay.
Herc, were you able to set up like an autopilot, or how'd you do with that?
Yeah, we're running we're running autos right now, which means we have an auto XY heading and also altitude. Gets you probably the best, most stable imaging for your transect.
And then you control the speed. Okay.
Yeah, we can control the speed on here, and it depends on kind of
Flying
the
by
coordination.
button pushing.
Yeah. So that's why we can be pretty bang on with the straight line, but it's less exciting for
We don't like it.
us.
I'm just the messenger.
We're getting up around half a knot now.
Roger. Is this visuals okay for you? Back row?
Yes, I really like the height. What's the speed?
We're ramping up right now. The speed over ground that we're seeing is 0.3 knots. And that will probably increase as the ship speed increases.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, because I could handle a little faster.
Sure thing.
What is this coming up? Are those flytrap anemones? What's this?
Those orange ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like flytrap anemones, right?
Yes. I didn't hear.
No, I'm just seeing how I'm doing on that line. Thanks, Erin. Sure.
Usually ROV pilots like to go very fast over mud to get it over with.
I don't think we've said anything negative about the mud the whole time. I can tell I've been coming from the back row.
No, I'm saying I'm impressed with your
patience?
stability, yes. Not the lead foot.
Not the lead foot.
That's
We took the accelerator
that's
off
the
the ground.
computer you're thinking.
So when you're reviewing this video footage, you are counting by eye every specimen that you see, CPEN related, or what are you looking for?
So, good question. I count for, it depends on what the researcher wants, but for this analysis, I'll be focusing on corals and sponges, so CPENs count. And what I do is when the lasers line up to the individuals in the center of the screen, I record the time in a database. I also record other metadata like the width and height of the individual, and I do that using the lasers. I record color, condition, associations of other animals with the coral or sponge. And then from those time-stamped observations, I also, of course, include frequency. I join those times with the ROV's navigation files and CTD data to then have georeferenced positions.
Wow.
And with these transects, like I mentioned earlier,
I would adjust it a couple of degrees to port.
Yeah.
we can estimate the width of the transect just based on knowing camera angle and height off bottom, and then all those observations that fall within the start and end of this transect, we can extract densities for.
That's a lot. That's a lot on your plate there.
Yeah, it's a time-consuming labor of love.
Sounds like it.
Sometimes it can be, yeah, it gets intense if there's a field of CPENs, and I have other techniques to speed up that process. So, especially, I recently did some video that was, it's a lot of mushroom corals, and so what I'm doing is I'm just continuously counting them within a minute time. So then they're georeferenced to a sense, but I don't have to record them every second.
And then my real speed too. That is a labor of love, though. That's impressive.
Thanks.
And it's very cool. You can see all the associations and all these other details that just from so far away too sometimes.
Yeah, having these cameras and the lights this is the best quality video I've ever looked at. It's actually, I'm quite spoiled now when I go and review other video. I'm like, oh, I can't see as well.
How often do you end up looking at other video? You do this
Is
quite
he
a
on
bit?
SBL?
Dave, you're really hard to hear back here.
Oh, sorry about that. How's
There,
that?
Oh, there you
Better?
are.
Much better, yeah.
Yeah, so Sage, how often are you looking at video and doing this kind of transect work?
That's Caitlin.
Oh, Caitlin, sorry.
Yeah,
That's
no
okay.
worries.
So right now it's I'm doing it full time for work. There's a really large effort on the West Coast to explore deep water habitats and to characterize deep water corals and sponges. So I work for the National Marine Sanctuary Program and also for the National Marine Fisheries Service, which is also part of NOAA.
And how long, say, would a project like this analysis?
So roughly I say that for every hour of underwater video, there's like a magnitude of 4 for processing time.
Oh my goodness.
Since
Wow.
I not only do corals and sponges, or I do habitat type and fishes if that's requested. Luckily with these data sets that come from Nautilus, there's not much labor on my end to clean up navigation files or decode CTD data. It's all done so nicely that part of joining it all together is just so nice and seamless. But we, with more of our different types of cruises, there's always things that come up with navigation or CTD, and so we're just always impressed with how lovely the Nautilus data is, because they have the people to get it right.
And then there's the report writing on
Yes,
top of the analysis.
exactly. Yeah. So then once it depends on the group who's contracting me, but they may also request report writing or producing maps and GIS, all with the purpose of providing the information to resource managers.
Is that a line?
Oh, and Tom Leidig just logged in, or maybe he did a while ago. When did he log in? 4 minutes ago. Thanks, Tom. Tom is with the National Marine Fisheries Service in Santa Cruz. I work with Tom. And he said on the science chat, I do a great job at counting the organisms.
Well, you've made us a great resource too for like all the identifications, and that's been very helpful.
Oh, great. It's fun.
Sage, what's your background in? Somebody's asking if there's a marine mammal expert on board. Is that you, or is that somebody else that I'm thinking of?
That would probably be Jan Roletto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's the research coordinator at Greater Fairlawn National Marine Sanctuary. I'm GIS analyst. In the last 2 or 3 years, career change for me, so it's been good. I love it. Before that, it was birds and mammals.
Oh, okay.
Definitely new to the underwater world. But Caitlin is a great resource to be sitting next to.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely lucky to have her with us.
And yeah, I'm just wondering what's going on the roof.
Yeah. It sounds like scrubbing.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're cleaning on top of the control van.
Yeah.
Starting to get slower. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So what is this over here to the right? Is that some kind of bivalve? What is that?
I believe that's a fly trap anemone.
That's a fly trap anemone.
We're just
Oh,
seeing
so
the
just a
back side
different-
of it.
Yeah. How big do those get?
That looked like a pretty large one.
Yeah.
So the lasers are 10 centimeters apart, so maybe that was 15 centimeters wide. Here's another one coming up.
Yeah.
That one might even be 20 centimeters wide. here comes a fish. I wonder if Tom's
Yep.
going to test me on it. Oh, that's a grenadier.
Yep. So pilots, do you think that, are you worried at all that with all the automation and advances in robotics that we won't need human pilots anymore? One of our viewers is curious about that.
I think we'll always need human pilots, especially
Yeah.
for manipulation, things that you can't necessarily automate.
Yeah, like this stuff is fine for automation, right? But to do sampling or to do like engineering tasks, I mean, it's crazy to try and automate that.
Yeah. At
I'm
least
40 now too, so I'm not that concerned.
I've started to think that way too. It's weird when you're like, oh, that's somebody else's problem. It's good for my career span right now.
I remember one time there were some oil and gas work in some company in Norway or some project between like oil company and the ROV provider or somebody had made up this kind of idea where the ROV would sit on a little tray in front
That's a
of
Pacific
the
flat-nose.
channel
Oh,
where
I
it was
see.
meant to work. So if you use the
With a
specific
grenadier.
type of ROV with everything was exactly the same and it sat and it wedged into this like proper footprint pad for itself, then you could go through all these automated functions, these saved arm motions and stuff, right? The robot could like pick up something off the porch and put it in a proper receptacle without just by like pushing the buttons. And it's like, yes, you can do it, but then you're heavily restricted, and if anything, I mean, you can obviously make it smarter than that, but it's an awful lot of design has to go into it, and then you're stuck with what you got.
Yeah.
Whereas if you just have humans, you can just tell them to move a little to the left.
Yep.
Okay, we're creeping up on the end of this line. The bearing's the same to the next position. Do we want to slow the ship down so you can explore a bit?
I think since it's based on mud, let's just zip over to the next transect.
Okay, so just keep it tracking. Is that
Yeah.
good with you guys too?
Sure.
We're okay to keep tracking the ship, yep. Science, when we get to the end of the line, do you want us to break off that and just kind of sniff around a little bit more as we go with the ship, or what would you like?
Let's, in the interest of time, let's just mosey on over to the next start. And it's just mud, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
Oh.
but the ship will go there, but as we go, do you want us to just carry on this line, or we can kind of zigzag and explore around a little bit more? Like, we won't delay the ship.
Okay. Yeah, and if it's a little more fun for you guys.
Yeah, and you'll see more, right?
Yeah.
Please, please.
Please. I'm reading in between the lines. I get it. So Erin, once we hit the end point there, I just want to be able to tell Magda when that happens, and so she can log the time.
So stay zoomed in on that. And you can also see the target as well when we cross over.
Oh, yeah.
Bridge nav. We're going to continue tracking this line, same bearing, same speed. Probably be a few 200, 400 more meters.
So for viewers just joining us, we are at about 1,840 meters. And we're currently conducting a transect, first of two, in the Greater Farallones Marine National Sanctuary. The goal is to characterize substrate and also catalog the organisms that we're seeing, I think with an emphasis on inverts.
Yeah. Yeah, 0.15 is very slow. Like this is great. Yeah. What's the ship speed right now, Aaron?
Ship speed now.
I think that was a
between
2-line eel
0.5
pout
and
that
just
just
Okay.
went off screen.
Okay, so it's, yeah, it's doing half
Tube
an hour.
line.
Two
Two
line,
lines.
two
Two
line.
line.
Yeah, and we're actually falling behind. If we wanted to keep going, we'd have to go faster again. Hmm? Yeah.
So science on these transects, are we capturing a lot of still images, or you go back and later that's part of the processing is when you go back and you look at the video.
Okay, I could say end transect at 22:34.
When Caitlin
Yes.
does her analysis, she's looking at the video. You know, for education and outreach at the sanctuary, we would use the stills and video. So I know yesterday we were capturing a ton of stills. If we see something that's a
Free?
Photoshop, we
All
would
right.
take it.
In the blind.
All right,
you,
guys.
guys.
No worries.
That went well.
All right. Did you guys want me to maintain an altitude, or can I just
No,
play around?
have some fun.
Thank you.
Push forward a bit so you
This back to the stills question. I do use the stills to help me in identification, but my analysis is solely on the video.
Aaron, can you tell me
Okay.
what the elevation change is from like here to 3BS and then to 3BE?
Can I? That's a great question. Let's zoom out.
Oh, there's a tire.
Yeah, it's interesting. They've been
Look
forming
at
these
that.
clusters.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
I think this
Oh,
is
yeah.
Video, you want to go ahead and
actually
zoom in?
Can you get a photo? Yeah, you're
Okay.
getting a photo.
It's going to be about...
Oh, it is a tire.
Yes.
It is a tire.
Oh wow.
Sorry, guys.
Wow.
Let me get you squared up better here.
30 meters.
I'm getting all
between here and the
combobulated here.
You have to drive again.
What was
To
the second
drive again.
question?
Wow.
So any hard substrate, I guess,
Yeah.
is
Oh,
fair
look
game.
at that guy
Eel
going by.
Yes, that was
All
eel
right,
pout
I'm
there.
stirring up too much sediment. Go
Okay.
ahead and come wide there, please.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's
It's
fine.
okay.
No, it's good.
Aaron,
We
can
got
you
some
ask
good
the
shots.
ship to change to 0.4 knots?
Yep.
Yeah.
Bridge nav.
Yeah, Caitlin,
Oh,
that's
better?
that's amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
hard substrate.
What
They'll take
difference
anything.
it makes, yeah.
Mhm.
Bridge nav.
Can we zoom on that eel pout right there?
Can we reduce
Sure.
the speed
Going
to
too fast?
0.4 knots?
Yeah. Stand
you.
by. Oh,
Nope.
that works actually better for us. Go ahead, video, and yeah, that's
Mike, what
good,
was your
right?
Got a little
elevation
spooked.
question?
Oh,
I just wanted to know how steep
Tom,
it
is
was
that
between
Skeletor?
here and where, say, the next
Oh.
waypoint and the one after.
Tom said he'd
those
help me
are
identify
10-meter
eel pouts.
contours.
if
They're,
we
okay,
zoomed
they're
in
only
on
10
that.
meters?
Theirs are only 10 meters. The
Oh.
black
I think
are
I might
100
video.
meters.
Yeah, okay, perfect.
Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Oh wow.
Okay.
There's
I'm
another
going to
little
just take a
cluster.
moment and draw the next line.
Yeah.
Sorry, as I kind of speed forward then stop, then I kind of thrust up a lot of sediment for you guys, so my apologies. I'll get further swung out and I'll go a little bit slower.
Okay.
Aaron, were you able to get the slope elevation difference? I didn't hear the answer.
I put up the 10-meter contours.
Oh, there you go.
So
Yeah.
it's a visual answer. It wasn't a
Okay,
mathematical
perfect.
answer.
Was that flat nose?
That's right.
Flat nose.
So there are these other fish on the seafloor that are eel pouts that we don't know who they are.
Hmm.
I got some pictures of the one we zoomed in on
Excellent.
earlier.
Thank you.
All right. Interesting.
Is that ship getting out too far ahead for you guys?
It's all right for now. It's gonna have a bit of a layback and a bit of a swing, especially once we get to higher terrain. So maybe before we change over, we can reduce our speed a little bit, let us swing a little bit more, and then they can carry on from there.
More marine debris?
Yeah, would you like to have a look?
Mm.
Maybe without me backing up. Let me just see if I can just,
Or is it a funny rock? What is that?
it's kind of empty.
What the anemones are growing on?
Yeah.
Video, you want to go ahead and push it in there, please?
Looks like
plastic.
plastic.
Yeah.
Plastic.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Sure thing.
red
I'll make
anemone is
note.
beautiful.
All right, video. Go ahead and come on wide. We'll keep on moving. Coming up.
Looks like when we get between 3B and 3C, that's when we're going to start seeing the topography changes.
Okay.
In theory, right?
Theory. That's about 450 meters away.
Oh.
Is that some line there on the ground?
Yeah.
Mm.
Video, want to push in? That's great there.
Is that line?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and come wide, video. Back row, we're also doing pretty quick zooms because we'll otherwise fall behind very quickly at the speed.
That's okay.
No, it's
Yes,
great.
Yeah.
We got us all lined up. We can't mess that up.
Well, now we're just playing around, right? We're just having a look.
You have 35 more meters of playtime.
Rather than I probably should start
Gotta
us
get it in line.
getting in
Jess,
line.
and let the computer take over.
Dang
That
it.
was way too
Okay.
fast, that bit, eh?
Yeah, 0.5 goes by really
So
quickly.
the end of this one should be interesting, right? It changes to rocks
Yeah.
and stuff.
In
It's
theory.
5.5 again
Theory.
there.
In theory, yeah.
So we got 0.55 there again. There, Aaron.
What, pardon?
0.55 again for the heading.
053.
And we'll get kicked
5-3.
off just in time.
And we'll get the next watch. We got them all set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Head out in a little bit.
Are some of those worm tubes like the
They might be the really
yeah,
dark.
Dark, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
You want to be in closer?
Yeah, that's perfect right there. Thank you.
What is that?
Oh, is that a toilet?
I thought so too, but it's so
Yeah.
small.
From a
Jeez.
dollhouse.
From a dollhouse.
Toilet. Should actually work out pretty nicely.
No,
No, it's all right. I think
time has passed.
the time has.
past. Yeah, when we're off watch.
Wow.
What's the ship speed now, Aaron?
Ship speed now 0.4 to 0.5.
Okay.
See if that gets us set up nicely or not.
These are all sea pens that we're seeing, right?
That's right.
Do we know what species that is?
We do. Let me look it up. I think it's a species that's quite common for California.
Sounds like a pecan. Who's telling me the story? Is that you?
What was that?
Somebody was telling me a story. One of the watchers in here, Dr. Ballard kept hearing something roll around. It was like a pecan.
Okay,
or
so I
something.
believe these sea pens
Mine
are
by
Halphoteris californica.
In the middle of the watch, it got it down.
And it's not uncommon for them to have these serpent stars on them. They're just trying to get higher into the water column to eat.
Yes. See your finger floating over it. Yes.
How did
The
you
answer
know?
is yes.
The answer is yes. Video, you want to come pull wide for a moment, please? Okay. Go ahead and push past those little curves. Thanks. Just want to see where I'm at. My apologies.
Brandon, our SCF from earlier this year, I think on the last leg, just logged in and says hi. And Jesse says he's been working on his bridge, so watch out.
There you go. Well, we need a rematch. Actually, I don't think, I don't know how, yeah, he has to practice.
Can we just push the video in a hair more past that suction hose? Thank you.
Alright.
Hi Brandon, welcome. Thanks for watching. So those brittle stars up on those sea pens, they're doing using those sea pens to allow them to catch more food. Is that right? Just like with what we saw with some of the corals yesterday.
Right?
I was typing.
Oh yeah, that's what, yeah, they're climbing up on the sea pens so they can like have access to more food.
Yes, that's right. I don't believe that they're not eating the polyps on the
Yeah.
sea pens.
Just like filtering in the water column. Yeah.
Okay.
Getting a height. They're getting a height advantage.
Yeah, so they're not competing with all the other brittle stars in the sand.
Almost perfect.
Okay.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're getting like right smack on that line.
I
had to do
love
this.
the enthusiasm.
Yeah. Are we going to maintain this speed?
We're going a little faster now just because I'm trying to get out in front and playing around with getting on that line. All right.
You guys got an eye on that?
Yeah.
Alright. Just about crossing.
All right. That's what it's
Start.
going to be.
You good?
Yeah, we're
All
good.
right, starting transect. 224750.
You want me to zoom out so it looks better?
I think I overshot it a little bit.
It's pretty good though, Jess.
That's really good. So it's
Ship's
turning
still
on
away.
mixed.
doing about 0.5 knots. We tried to slow it down.
It's not mixed substrate.
What's it doing?
No. No. Maybe not yet.
0.4 to 0.5.
Uh,
Okay.
I think that'll be good.
Okay.
I think so.
You're good. We're all good.
I'll
Yeah.
turn Argus heading a little bit.
Roger.
See ya.
I'm gonna get us on that line.
Oh, I know you are.
Is that that's a sun star that we just passed on the lower left?
Oh, I missed it.
I didn't see.
I did.
And this is another flat. How do I have such trouble with this? Flat snout?
Flat nose.
Flat
Close.
nose.
Pacific
What's that?
flatnose. What is
Fish just
that?
went by.
I don't know.
It looks like plastic.
Oh yeah, like a
or
coil,
wire.
like wire or
Wire.
something.
Gosh, lots of marine debris.
Do you think it's because, is this closer to shore than the other, than Box Canyon?
Well, things can come off of ships.
Right,
as
that's
well.
true.
It's hard to pinpoint it.
Do you document that as well when you process these?
I do, yes. I document marine debris of all types, including derelict fishing gear.
Yeah.
Might be getting a little far out in front of you. Let's see.
What's that? Oh, that's a cucumber. I see a cucumber.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, our predictive habitat maps have this area being mixed substrate, but what we're seeing is soft substrate. So this is a great example of how we're ground truthing the model data.
Will this help you adjust your models and
Yeah, I'll
make them more
I'll
accurate?
give this, once I analyze it and have the data set completed, I'll give it to Guy, and he does the tweaking. The yellow is sediment? Oh, my bad. So he's on, sorry. Green is mixed. Never mind, Guy, you did good. I'm the one who's fired.
Nobody else is going to do your job. I think you're good.
Oh, darn.
A lot of job security.
Yeah. That just turned kind of dark too. Just
No.
kind of neat to see
I
the
get
shadows
tired
converge.
like that.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we're right on that line now.
Perfect. I won't zoom that one anymore. Give it a tattoo. Well done. You did it really gently too. You want to drive the ship on multi-beam lines? We could use your expertise.
You, Science, you happy with this speed?
Yes, I really like
okay,
it.
we bump the ship up to 0.5.
Bridge nav.